Whether you're visiting Thailand for the first time or coming back for more, you're probably looking for new and exciting experiences to make your trip even more memorable. Well, this is the video for you. I've been traveling and living in Thailand for over 16 years. I've been to every single province, all 77 of them. I've been to nearly all of the islands, almost all of the national parks. I've traveled this entire country back to front. I promise you, I've got some great recommendations for your next trip to Thailand. Now, if you're relatively new to coming to Thailand, there is absolutely nothing wrong with visiting the Grand Palace, eating some street food in Chinatown, or visiting one of the many beautiful beaches and islands that this country has to offer. It's your holiday, it's your vacation, you do you. But if you're the kind of traveler who's looking to go beyond the touristy hotspots and you want to get a little bit more, something different, something unique, or maybe you're just looking for something unforgettable that you can experience here in Thailand on your next trip, stick around, I promise you there'll be something for you in this video. When I looked at my experiences and my travels across this entire country, I sat down and I wrote a list of the 11 things that I think are the most unique, the hidden gems. Now, yes, some of them you might have heard of, especially if you've been to Thailand a few times before, but if you stick around to the end of this video, I guarantee at least one of these things will be jotted down in your future itinerary and you will be able to experience something magical on your next trip here. From laid back experiences to adrenaline pumping thrills, I've got unique spots from around the country that you just don't want to miss. Okay, so let's just jump straight into the list. So the first 3 things on this list are all based here in Bangkok. Now, I did want to go film this video out on the streets of Bangkok where I live, but it's the rainy season and it's not really playing ball, so I had to sit down indoors today. So I apologize for the lack of diverse, interesting backgrounds during this video, but this is a travel planning video, so I'm sure you sat down with your phone or some notebooks. So please bear with me as I just sit in one spot during this video. Chances are your trip to Thailand will begin or end in Bangkok. This is the main hub, especially for international flights. Maybe you'll be in Phuket. Most of you will be coming to Bangkok, right? So I've got 3 incredible, unique, hidden gems, experiences that will take your trip to Bangkok beyond the Grand Palace and getting drunk on Khao Road. Number 1 is going on a hidden Bangkok tour in the canals of Thonburi. Just on the other side of Icon Siam, next to the Wat Arun temples and even very close to the Grand Palace, is a whole different area of Bangkok that most tourists don't usually go. The hidden Bangkok boat tours take you through the lesser known canals of Thonburi, and they give you a great glimpse into the traditional way of life, far away from the bustling tourist spots, which are actually very close to Thonburi itself. You'll see wooden stilt houses, floating markets, riverside temples, and of course one of the most beautiful Buddha statues in the whole of Thailand is on the edge of one of the canals, and as you come around one corner it will reveal itself. You can also get off and spend some time exploring that Buddha temple as well as the statue, and everything around there is gorgeous. Bye! Oh jeez! They just belly flopped off the boat. The good thing about hidden Bangkok tours is whether you're going to go on your own and do the tour completely privately, or maybe you share the cost with a friend, you can also join big groups of other travelers who have met, let's say, on Khao Road, and then you can say, hey, I'm going to go on this boat tour, would you like to come? And you can split the cost between 3, 4, 5, even 6, even I think maybe you can get 8 or 9 or 10 people on the boats. I'm not quite sure. Message them privately and you'll find out exactly what the situation is. I've done this tour multiple times with friends, with groups of other travelers. It's such a fun, unique part of Bangkok. It's a great way to experience the culture, as I mentioned. And even though you're so close to things like the Grand Palace and Khao Road, it is a part of Bangkok most people miss. So it really is a hidden gem and one of the best things you can do in Bangkok for sure. Second on the list is spending some time in the Green Lung. This is a part of Bangkok, a huge green space right next to the Sukhumvit area of Bangkok, so really close to downtown. It's known as Bang Krachao to the locals, and it offers peaceful escapes for the people who are just looking to get away from the hustle and bustle of downtown Bangkok. If you look at it from space, it does look so green and so lung-shaped, and it is right in the middle of the city, which is great because not only is it lush and it has nature trails and cycle trails, and there's a little national park inside that you can explore on foot or on bicycle. But because it's so green and luscious, it does a really good job of absorbing the pollution, absorbing the carbon dioxide, and spitting out nature, oxygen, loads of birds and wildlife to enjoy. And it's quite easy to get to because there's a little boat that goes from one side of the river to the green lung, and then straight from the pier on the green lung you can rent bicycles and cycle around and explore. You can spend the whole day there, you can stay overnight like I've done before, and I'll leave more information in the description. A visit to the green lung will definitely take your trip to Bangkok in a whole different new direction, and I think you'll be surprised at how green, luscious and beautiful downtown, middle of Bangkok can actually be. You don't expect to see this in the middle of Bangkok. Number 3 on this list is watching a Thai Premier League game, especially in the middle of Bangkok. There's a great place where Port FC play. Now obviously this is an experience that won't appeal to everyone, especially if you're not really into football, but I promise if you're looking for mad culture and a great way to connect to the Thai people, they love football almost as much as the British, and they have a great way of experiencing and celebrating their love for this sport. I recommend Port FC because it's in the Klong Toi district, which is right in the middle of Bangkok and really easy to get to using public transport. And they have a die-hard fan base outside the stadium. They have street food, they have stalls, they have pre-game atmosphere. And then during the game as well, there's loads of just mad things that go on. It's very Thai, it's very rustic, and if you've got kids and you want to take them somewhere safe and interesting and cultural and just a place that's safe and fun, take them to the Port FC Premier League game. Just obviously make sure you check when they're playing at home, and you can buy tickets online or at the stadium. Just get there at least 2 hours before kickoff so you can get the tickets and also enjoy the pre-match experience and environment. And if they win, sometimes they throw a huge big concert afterwards, and I experienced that in the pouring rain. It was one of the best things I've ever done, and not many people, not many tourists are going to do this on their trip to Bangkok. But if you've watched this video and it sounds interesting to you, have a look on the website, find out when they're playing and get yourself down there. You'll never forget a good night out watching Port FC. I rate this as one of the best nights out I've ever had in the city of Bangkok. Forget Nana Plaza, forget Soy Cowboy. This is where you want to come. Before we move on with the list of things I recommend on your trip to Thailand, another thing that I recommend is something that I got given to me, I've been using recently. It is a great little device. This is the T1 Mini translation device by TimeKettle, and I've been using it recently, and I think it's really, really useful, especially if you don't speak Thai, which, let's face it, most of you don't. I've been living here for years and my Thai is terrible, but this has been saving me in a pinch whenever I've needed to translate or find out information, or let the chef know about my dietary requirements, or just using a Grab driver or a taxi driver or anyone basically on the streets that doesn't understand what I'm trying to say. This can save you in a pinch. You might have some apps on your phone that you might use for translation, but this is going to be way better. It's much more convenient and purpose-built for translation. There's this little button here on the side, and all you have to do is hold down the button as you speak, and then it will translate whatever you just said into the language that you need.
กดค้างไว้ขณะที่คุณพูดจากนั้นมันจะแปลสิ่งที่คุณเพิ่งพูดเป็นภาษาที่คุณต้องการ
Really quickly, really conveniently, and it comes up on the screen so you can show them what you're trying to say as well if it's too loud and they can't hear. It's got great battery life and it's made of rugged plastic, so it can take a battering, trust me. Another cool feature is if you swipe this way, it opens up the camera. There's a camera on the back, and you can just point it at some text. Maybe you've got a menu where you don't know what any of it says. The T1 Mini also comes with 1 year of global data, so you can use it anywhere, anytime. Now, I've tested this a lot with my girlfriend. It's very accurate, and I took it on a recent trip up north and I used it a bunch, especially when I got stranded in my accommodation because of weather, landslides, things like that. I didn't know if I could get back to the main road, and through this device we were able to communicate and find out what was going on. So if you're coming to Thailand or going anywhere that the T1 Mini supports in terms of language choices, then pick one up in the description below. Thank you to TimeKettle for sponsoring this section of the video. Let's move on. The next 4 things on this list are hidden gems and experiences that you can experience in the south of the country. on the coastlines or on the islands. Some of the things on this list will take your trip to southern Thailand to the next level, beginning with number 4 on the list, visiting the dugongs of Trang province. Oh, we just saw a dugong right here.
Yeah, lucky.
Right here next to the boat. Dugongs are like manatees. They're these big sea cow mammals that are big and fat and beautiful, and they swim in the shallows of Trang province where there are beautiful islands, and you can go on a dugong spotting tour. You can't swim with them or touch them obviously, but from the boat you can see them. They're huge beasts that feed on the sea grass that grows in the national parks all around Trang. And this is a beautiful, majestic sea creature I had no idea even lived in Thailand. Obviously, you probably know Thailand has whale sharks and elephants and tigers and things like that, but to be able to see such a beautiful creature in the wild is quite rare in Thailand and easily organized in the south on the province of Trang, but especially on islands like Koh Mook and Koh Libon, and I think you can also do it on Koh Kradan. These islands, by the way, are beautiful, extremely gorgeous, like Maldives levels, white sands, blue turquoise waters, and that's where the dugongs live. So you can even, if you're lucky, just go snorkeling just off the beaches of these islands, and you might bump into one. But if you go on a tour on a long-tail boat that I've done, honestly, it was 3 years ago and I still have never forgotten how much fun it was, and I really can't wait to do it again very soon. Number 5 is the Dragon Crest hike in Krabi. Now, if you're coming to Krabi, where a lot of tourists do visit, Ao Nang, Rai Lay, Koh Phi Phi and other areas, it really is a beautiful part of southern Thailand. Great beaches, great islands, lots to do. But this is a very active hike. It takes about 3 to 4 hours to complete, so you will need a very high level of fitness because it's a very sweaty, very steep hike. But one of the most incredible reveals, one of the most beautiful views of Krabi and the bay is available from the top of this mountain. I'll leave the Google Map link of the start of the trail in the description. You can park your rental motorbike or get a taxi from Ao Nang or wherever you're staying in Krabi, and take lots of water, take your camera, and make sure you are not hungover or tired, okay? Because this is a very sweaty hike, but like I said, the views at the top, out of this world. Number 6 is to stay at one of the beautiful hotels on the lake of Khao Sok National Park. Now this is probably somewhere that you've heard about because over the past 10 years, it's become more and more popular because people are finding out about just how beautiful this place is, and it really is the jewel of Thailand, especially in the south. Incredible high cliffs and mountains surrounded by water. It is a man-made reservoir that has now turned into a national park, and it really is just jaw-droppingly beautiful. And a lot of people go to visit the park and go around on the lake on a boat trip just for a few hours as part of a day trip. But if you can budget a little bit extra in your trip itinerary, then stay on the lake. There are a few places you can stay, some of which are quite budget friendly, but most are quite expensive. I've been lucky enough to stay on 2 luxury resorts on Khao Sok Lake. Great if you're a couple looking for a honeymoon highlight. But yeah, staying on Khao Sok National Park is a must. But as I mentioned, it is a little bit expensive, around about 300 USD per night if you want to stay in one of the luxury hotels that floats on the lake. But like I said, it's a once in a lifetime magical experience, and I'm actually going back soon. So it won't be once in a lifetime for me. I'm taking my mum to stay there because I want to show her the best part of Thailand, and I think this is it. Number 7 is exploring the Phra Nakhon cave in Prachuap Khiri Khan. Whew, that's a hard one to say. There is the most beautiful hike to do this temple in Prachuap Khiri Khan. Basically, you might have heard of Hua Hin. It's a big city on the south coast on the way down to places like Samui. If you're a fan of nature, unique hikes, and beautiful culture and history, this experience has all 3 perfectly in one place. Now the gorgeous temple that's inside this golden wooden structure, it's actually a royal pavilion. It's not really a temple, even though it kind of looks like one, but the cave that it's inside is not only stunning with openings where the light comes in, where the rain sometimes falls down. There's a little jungle inside. It's just gorgeous. There is a reasonably difficult hike to get up into the cave. It's about 900 meters from the beach. You can take a little boat around to the start of the hike, or you can do what I did, which is actually hike to the start of the trail. I'll leave all the information in the description. You can watch the entire hike. The area that this cave is in is beautiful. There's a national park, there are other caves, there are waterfalls, there's a beautiful beach. This is a place where if you have a rental car or you've got 2 or 3 days where you want to see a completely different part of Thailand, away from the resorts and away from the islands where all the other tourists are, then put this on your list. You will not forget it, and it's beautiful. Okay, it's time for the final 4 things that I recommend to take your trip to the next level. And these next 4 will need a little bit more planning. If anything that's coming up in the next 4 things on this list really appeal to you, make sure you take the time to read the description and do a little bit more digging, because these things are either seasonal or just difficult to reach and need a little bit of planning. This isn't something that you could probably do last minute. You might be in Bangkok and you've realized you don't want to go to Chiang Mai because it's smoky season, and now you're scrambling and you found this video. These next 4 things you might have needed to go back a few weeks or months and booked ahead of time, but let's just see, maybe you get lucky. Staying in a tree house or anywhere that's luxurious and glamping style in northern Thailand. These incredible locations in the north of Thailand, specifically in places like Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai, they are incredibly beautiful, but also very popular. And so they book up weeks and months in advance, especially during the high season, which in the north is November, December, and January. These cooler months offer fantastic views of the mountains. There's very little rain, and it's much cooler temperatures. Like, you'll actually gather around fireplaces, you'll wrap up in warm clothing in the evenings. It's really, especially to the Thais, it's a magical experience to be in the north during the winter months. And in the description, I'll link to you 3 or 4 places that I've stayed, I've got videos about, and I think you need to really stay in one of these places to just create incredible memories, take amazing photos, and experience the north of Thailand in a different way, because it's so beautiful up there. Number 9 is staying on one of the beautiful floating accommodations and hotels in Kanchanaburi. Kanchanaburi is a really interesting, huge, beautiful province with lots of history. You've probably heard of places like the bridge over the River Kwai and Erawan National Park, home to Erawan waterfalls. These are some of the most incredible places in Kanchanaburi. But instead of taking a really fatiguing day trip from Bangkok in a minivan, where it's 4 hours there, a few hours experiencing a few of the sites, and then it's 4 hours back, and then you get stuck in traffic, it's a long day. So don't stay in Bangkok. If you can, get on your itinerary 2 nights at least in Kanchanaburi, and if you can, stay in one of the wooden floating hotels. I'll link a few in the description that I've stayed in personally and recommend, and you get to be on the river, you get to be with the locals, because the Thais absolutely love Kanchanaburi. They do all these weird and wonderful activities, and there's great Thai food. It's great to be in nature. You're surrounded by mountains, and you're only about 2 or 3 hours away from Bangkok. So it's a great place to squeeze in on your trip right before you fly back from Bangkok, or maybe at the beginning of your trip when you arrive. Get out of the city, just go to Kanchanaburi, it's not too far away, and it's beautiful. We've organised to go straight on the boat and enjoy the afternoon going down the river.
Cheers,
buddy. Number 10 is staying at Koh Wai Paradise Resort. This is a specific resort that I stayed in, but the island itself has a few other places you can stay. Thailand is known for beautiful beaches and beautiful islands, okay? But I've been to pretty much most of them, and this one is just ridiculously beautiful. It's far away from any of 7-Elevens, 5-star hotel chains and loud music. This is a beach on an island where you arrive on a boat and they just sail away and you're left to enjoy nature and minimal electricity, minimal Wi-Fi. They do have it available for a few hours a day. You can get signal from the restaurant and send a few emails, receive a few messages during the day. But in the evenings when the generators turn off and you've got your fan and you've got a little light and you're under your mosquito net and you've just got the doors open to the sound of the beautiful ocean right outside your door, and you've got toucans and birds and just beautiful distant storms and lightning in the distance over the Cambodian mountains, because that's where you are. You're quite near Cambodia. So again, this is somewhere that takes a lot of planning. And if you want to stay in the exact wooden cabin that I stayed in, which is the only one that's actually on the sand, that books up weeks and months in advance. You need to book it through Facebook. I'll link it in the description, don't worry. If you want to have a really rustic wooden cabin on a beach in Thailand experience where you can read a book, disconnect, and really just get away from everything, go to Koh Wai, stay in the wooden hut, and enjoy paradise. Finally, it's time to talk about number 11 on my list, and that is experiencing some of Thailand's most unique hiking opportunities. Thailand isn't known for its hiking in comparison to other countries like Borneo, Malaysia, or Nepal, or Switzerland, right? There is hiking all over the country, but I've done some really interesting hikes. And so if you are active, you like hiking, you like challenges, and you like unique landscapes and just something completely and utterly different and completely mad, then here are the recommendations for some unique hikes in Thailand. In Phitsanulok province, there is a really unique cliff structure system that got formed, I think, in the last ice age. I'm not quite sure, to be honest. Just really difficult, jaggedy. You go with a guide. There is a lot of pulling and holding on for dear life. They give you gloves because it's very coarse rock, very difficult, very sweaty, but oh my gosh, what a view at the top. In the historical center of Thailand is a province called Sukhothai. There's some beautiful temples. It's a gorgeous, undiscovered place, to be honest, in comparison to other areas. There's a great hike there. It is bloody difficult though. It takes about 3 or 4 hours. It's very steep, very sweaty. At the top, unbelievable views, unbelievable memories. And you can camp up there. You'll actually probably need to because it's so hot. And you know, it's just difficult. This is a difficult hike.
Yeah,
I'm an adventurer.
Yeah. Face your face to the sun.
Okay, professional.
Nice, very nice. Keep going, keep going.
And the last little hike that I would like to recommend is completely and utterly mad. It's not something I recommend you do in the rain or any threat of a storm, because there are these metal ladders that go up to this viewpoint in Nakhon, Sawan, and if you avoid the monkeys, if you don't slip and fall to your death in the rain like I nearly did, again at the top the views are incredible. This one is very dangerous. I only recommend it if you're experienced and you've got a good level of fitness, but my gosh, what a unique hike. If you're scared of heights, just be careful because this is extremely steep. If you'd like more recommendations from me, I have a whole playlist. Again, I'll link it in the description. Best islands, best beaches, best foods, best provinces, and I think this video will also complement that series as well. I'll add it to the playlist. I've turned this YouTube channel into an encyclopedia pretty much of Thailand, so just type in any province, you'll find a video of me driving around it, exploring it most likely. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments and I'll try to get back to you as many as I can. Have fun. It's the best country in the world in my opinion, full of adventures, full of hidden gems, and I've just shed light on a few of them. I've still got a lot that I'm keeping secret, okay, but these are some of the best that I just think if you experience at least one of them, you'll have a trip to never forget. And you know, everybody goes to the Grand Palace, everybody goes to Khao San Road and Koh Phi Phi, and Phuket. And like I said at the start of the video, there's nothing wrong with enjoying the things that you like to enjoy when you're away. It's your vacation, it's your holiday. You spent all the money to get here. You do you. But if you're looking for something different, unique, check out something on this list.